poverty. I think the word war is in the United States euphemism for the concept of aggression. How do you fight terror? I have no idea. Terror is a tactic, as many people have said. It isn't an opposing force. You cannot defeat terrorism. It will always be there. Terrorism is an century. The Israelis raised the level on the playing field in 1948 at the King David Hotel when they bombed the hotel and killed 91 people. So the war on terror is an American word to raise money, to make it into an American thing. The English, the French, the Germans, the Italians fought horrible terror campaigns in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I mean, I was there. I saw the bombs. I mean, it was horrible, but they killed innocent people there too. But they didn't make it into a publicized event where they made people take their shoes off to walk around to an airport. The Americans have taken it to another level and made it into a huge operation. The war on drugs, when it started, and Nixon used that word, damn his soul. He used the word in 1970s, and he called it the war on drugs. And I think the initial budget, you have to double check, it's about $20 million, $40 million. And the last time I checked, the war on drugs was running roughly, I would say the budget for the DEA and the various agencies that combat drugs is close to, could be wrong, but double check, it's somewhere in maybe more, $20, $30 million. Maybe some people have set up to $100 billion on drugs. So it doesn't work. What you do is you create more, you create agencies, you create bureaucracies that exist by numbers. And how many terror agencies, how many security agencies do we have in the United States? 70, 80? And they all kind of like overlap, and they double check, and they screw each other up. It's amazing what goes on. Even the DEA is having tremendous problems in our country with ICE, which is a new unit to fight immigration. So, anybody who's been in the United States Army knows what I'm talking about when they say, your orders are generally fucked up. They screw it up constantly. I mean, the United States Army is famous for throwing everything at nothing. I mean, the fact is we caught Osama bin Laden through intelligence, through informers, and that's the way we always would have caught him. And anyone who fought the intelligence wars in the 70s and 80s knows that. We didn't need to have a diverting war in Afghanistan or a diverting war in Iraq. We needed to get an LKY. That was the enemy. It was always a living through. It seems to me by creating a war, we created a war on them. And now we're going to increase our budgets. And we're stuck in this tremendous bureaucracy that we've invented.
Let me turn.
Don't use the word war. War on poverty was the same thing, by the way, if you go back and check. The budgets on the war on poverty were a disaster for us.
Okay, let me turn now to Stavros Yanuka, my colleague.
I just want to pick up on your theme of history as drama, or your role as dramatist, come historian, and ask you, what differences, if any, have there been in your approach to telling ancient history, as you did, I think, quite successfully with Alexander, versus commenting essentially on contemporary events that you have lived through?
Very good question, by the way. You can make a movie about that. Because it is drama. The way when a George Bush reacts to who's determined that George Bush's popularity is dropping considerably in 2001, and he feels irrelevant already because he doesn't have very much on his mind. He's the president who takes the most vacations of any president in history of our country. And he's sitting on his ranch there, his great advisor there, Condi Rice, telling him what great danger the United States Osama bin Laden is. These guys are asleep. And, they need a narrative. They need a narrative to have a successful presidency. And by God, they get one. And they make hay while the sun shines. This incident at the World Trade Center becomes the national crusade. This becomes this becomes the Muslims taking Jerusalem. This becomes a war of our generation. And of course, the budgets follow. The narrative follows. The big lie follows. And we made it. And we re-elect the guy in 2004. And of course, with another big drama about John veteran. So, you know, the drama is what prevails in politics, unfortunately, because politics has become entertainment. I really feel that. I don't think that we've lost our ability to differentiate the news from entertainment. We like to have easy answers. Everybody has opinions. Very few people are willing to go into a deeper analysis of it. And we don't really listen to the experts as we used to. Not that the experts were right, but sometimes we have to really step back. The moment something breaks in the news, it's impossible now that every newscaster has got some theory around it. It's silly. I covered that a bit in my own film, the drama film called Natural Born Killers, which wasn't about history, but it was about, actually it's about a moment in time in the early 1990s when America lost its mind. Because essentially the networks were disassociated from in the old days there was a license that was given by the Federal Communications Commission, and it makes sense. You would not have the rights to the public airwaves unless you had some sense of responsibility. When they took that over, when they allowed CBS to make the news for profit in 1982, 1982 is a big year, that was a real regressive action. And the Telecommunications Bill of 1997 that Clinton passed, again, which threw the public airwaves open to profit and speculation, allowed the corporate media, the monopolists to really control as much of the media as which is a worldwide problem, but certainly one in the United States that we wouldn't have had if we'd had a responsible government. The government is not really in collusion with the people anymore. The government's in collusion with corporations and with media. Because I think that Obama and all these people are playing just to the media. They have to get elected by the media. You cannot win in the United States unless the media gives you a proof. It's very important to recognize that he's playing to the media. There's nothing for Obama to go out there and do something that would rock the boat in foreign policy. Nothing. Because he would only get more controversy from the media. That can only, all he has to do right now is get elected again. Once that happens, things might change a little bit. His mandate is the media, not people. So he can laugh when a protester stands up in San Francisco and says, "What about Bradley Manning and the way you're treating him? What about him? You know, it's funny," he says. It's not funny. It's pretty horrible. It's a Kafka situation in the United States.
Who is Bradley Manning?
Bradley Manning is a soldier who leaked
the WikiLeaks, okay, the private.
Really cruelly imprisoned, contrary to our Constitution, for months now. He's been called on it repeatedly in our country, and no one has done anything for him. They haven't even given him a trial. But this is, of course, true about the Guantanamo people, many other people around the world in our system of detention. The United States has changed even more so since 2000 than it ever changed before. And we all have rights to be, everyone in this room could be removed and taken somewhere, and we would never be able to do anything about it. It's terrifying. As to Alexander, I just want to make a quick tell you because I appreciate your saying it. I never gave up on Alexander. The initial release was tough because I got a lot of criticism. I went back and I added an hour to the film because I tried to, in 2004 I abided by the contract to deliver a 2-hour, 40-some, under 3-hour movie. I couldn't do it. It took me 3 more years to realize it. I went back in 2007. I added the hour. I made an intermission to Parkville, which is available on YouTube, iTunes, and on demand, and it's also available through Amazon in the United States, but not very widely known abroad. But it's a spectacular difference in films, completely different structure. It's called Alexander Revisited, and I'm screening it next month at Lincoln Center in New York. Special screening, big screen, and also at Taormina in Sicily, and keep showing it to get it back into circulation.